a little bit. Okay? Do you hear me, Tweaks?
I can't hear you. Hello?
It's a certain way things run around here.
Booda, what'd you try to say? Did you try to walk up on me right now? Is that what you're trying to do?
Listen. We run a professional show, Tweaks. We can't be having this nonsense.
Oh, listen. Here's the thing. I was ready.
Background.
I was just doing stuff.
What's going on?
You were busy just taking your sweet old time.
What is going on right now?
I was ready at 9 o'clock.
Whoa. Bro, did you actually do that, bro?
What?
Did you actually change the podcast background without my permission? You did that, bro?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what you're talking about. I think you're memeing right now because maybe you screwed up the background, but the background there is... I see Jeanne in the background.
I was prepared. So I'm thinking there's some shenanigans. You were late.
I don't think so.
I think you messed with the podcast background. I think there's something going on. But we're live, Tweaks, in case I didn't tell you.
We've been live. I've been watching.
Oh, this is the pre-show. That's right.
That's right. That's right.
So, what's going on, guys? Hi, chat.
Fellas,
Welcome.
what's happening?
What's happening? Hey, your boy Booda is just trying to run a professional thing here, but you guys know I've got a real... I was going to say roughhouser, but you're not really rough, Tweaks. You're a pretty suave. Got a troublemaker with you.
100% troublemaker.
Shofu knows what's up. I'm going to do the thing.
Come on, man. I won't do the thing, so you can do the thing.
I'll do the thing. By saying YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Booda. Back in the building for another Power Creep podcast episode 42. Here. It's a lot of them, bro. With my co-host, the voice you just heard, we've got Tweaks.
What's up, fellas?
Boys.
No.
In the house. And he did the intro, guys. He did it. You saw.
He did what? No one heard it.
They heard it.
Anyways.
Udo,
people want to know, what unit are you pitying?
Oh, yeah, there's a poll going on right now. I'm just going to leave it up because, as you guys see the title of the stream, the next unit Booda is pitying. We're going to have you all guess until the end of the stream. Couple things, actually, maybe to go over before we jump into our festivities for the day. So,
yeah, let me know about it. What's up?
Well, I did a community post. I didn't make a whole video on it. I debated on making a video, but I decided on a community post and kind of just telling everyone in a more casual form during one of the Power Creep podcasts, which we are now in. Boy Booda is doing another channel pivot. It doesn't really feel like that long since I did the last one, but it actually has been, right? It's been arguably an entire year, right? We're into 2023. And I've decided to, rather than expand the scope of the channel due to some IRL things that I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about in previous streams and can imagine and fathom as times are, as they say, changing. I've decided to go the opposite way and hone in on a type of content that works, that you guys want to see, that appeases the current subscriber base, and that I think keeps the heart of the channel pumping, that being the Power Creep podcast. Since obviously I have foregone my old content creation, the way I used to pump out last Cloudia dedicated videos. We tried a little bit of the variety side, couldn't quite get a grasp on something that I liked and that I could make a new routine that I could afford, unfortunately. And I think the Power Creep podcast is just content that works. I enjoy it. It gives me an excuse to hang out with you, my friend Tweaks. It gives me a reason to chill with you guys in the chat. Booda Gang shows up nice and strong. And so we have rebranded now once again, moving away from last Cloudia and now going the complete opposite way and dialing in on the POWERCREEP podcast as it is and as you all know it. So what do you think of that, Tweaks?
I think you've chained me down and won't let me leave.
It's an interesting perspective. So
no,
listen.
I've just been sitting here the whole time watching you have Dante on your home screen. I'm just confused.
Well, you know, I was doing a little bit of research, and it turns out Bayonetta versus Dante is a very highly searched thing on Google. I didn't know if you were privy to that.
No, apparently this is like one of the only places that Bayonetta and Dante are playable in like the same game.
Yeah, I think
from what I've heard, and then I've seen like fan made videos of like Bayonetta versus Dante and that stuff. So
yeah, their universes I think are very comparable from what I've seen. And so when I looked up, Google ad keywords, as I like to do from time to time, I saw Dante versus Bayonetta was a thing. And since I have neither Bayonetta nor Jeanne, however the hell you say it, through tickets, I decided to put this guy up, maybe trick YouTube algorithm.
Just to mention something in chat, Shadow, the vote is for you to guess which one he's doing. It has no effect on what he's actually pitying.
So, should we use that as a segue?
No. I mean,
it works.
I'll segue. Hey, you guys want to talk about Jeanne?
Tweaks is already tired of me talking. He's ready to put me in the backpack and zip me up, so I just
zip him up. It's like you're a little kitten in that little backpack, and you're just poking your head out, just like, hey, what's happening out here? What's happening in the real world? So yes, that's how I imagine you right now.
You're not wrong, but I'm going to stop you right there because guess what? I do need to say. Boy Booda is pitying a unit today. Because just Jeanne is not enough. Right, Twigs? You would agree with this.
Sure. I don't know where we're going with this, but go ahead. Yes, continue.
So, in order to flesh out a nice hour-long podcast, we agreed on talking about Jeanne, talking about the Ark, and then what do we have to talk about? Nothing after that? Oh, well, why don't we do a little summon session? So, the reveal will be given at the end, right? Give you a reason to stick around after Tweaks has gone over his Jeanne analysis and keep y'all on your toes because you may think you know the answer, but we've got a good 40 minutes of
we shall see
about a certain character that just dropped in the game who Tweaks did introduce prematurely.
I would never do that.
And that's Jeanne.
Jeanne.
However,
Jeanne. I heard it was Jeanne, but what are you gonna do? We can't. I'm not French, so who knows? Yeah, man, she's cool. If you guys were privy to my stream earlier after maintenance, we had some fun with her, and more so, and I had this. Who mentioned it? I think it was Vember. Vember mentioned this whenever my stream was up. He was like, "Dude, we can tell when you're excited about a unit because all you do is giggle half the time."
For sure, it's very accurate.
And I was just like, "Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense." So he was like, "Yeah, you didn't really do it with Bayonetta much, but
yeah,
Jeanne, you did it the entire time." And I was like, "Yeah, that makes a lot of sense." So the main questions we were looking forward to, at least I was looking forward to in Jeanne's release, is her ability to, yes, defensively mitigate for the entire team, and that was already kind of understated, stated her HV debuff, all that good stuff. Just as a summary real quick, her HV debuff is awesome. It's unique. It's basically a flat 30% damage multiplier that just stacks with everything else, which is dope. And then it was her DPS we were thinking about, how fast are her skills, because they look really fast, but what's the damage count? What's the actual DPS that comes out of it? And I'm pleasantly surprised. Not pleasantly surprised, but pleasantly happy with how it turned out, right? She is one of those units that needs a. If you want to run her as a DPS, she will need some help in the SCT department. But if you can get that down, her spam ability, because her skills are so fast, she absolutely shreds a lot of content, especially with content that we have nowadays with lower HP gain or HP pools, especially for like multiplayer, maybe 10 to 15 million. She chunks it. So yeah, pretty cool. So she is a knight after all. She's a single wielding thunder unit, which is we've been missing in the overall PvE DPS meta. A good thunder unit for a while, right? Like we had Lagrange, we had Mia, but those aren't really DPS units per se. Jeanne is going to be a DPS unit, but with a bunch of other cool utility stuff in her kit. Being a knight, I mean, not that her knight really matters that much. Her typing doesn't really matter that much. It's more of just like, you know, a combative thing about who can get anti-damage on her in arena. That's pretty much all it really matters for. And then for enabling for like other arc skills like the Institute of Magic and, you know, stuff you would need them for. So knight doesn't really affect her. If she could be a soldier realistically as well as a knight, it doesn't really affect anything. But she does have a great kit in her. But let's go over skills. Stand so you can fall, medium air, thunder combo attack. I know I explained this in my release info video. It is quite quick. The S1 and the S3 are about the same animation times. So you're looking at 6 hits of her like 50 to 60k damage cap. Which is okay. It's not anything crazy. It's like 300,000 plus damage per skill in less than a second. Dope. And then I'm going to skip to her S3 though, because I feel like those are pretty similar. The S3, on the other hand, is going to be about the same time frame, 16 hits, fully around her, like 360 degrees around her, and is very, very spammable as well. So the potency of her S3 is essentially over 2.5 times as much as her S1, because they're about the same animation times. So S3 is cracked out the ass. Like literally, it's so good for DPS. The only issue with it is that it is 2 skill stocks base. So in order to spam it, you'll need the things like Purple Orb to jump up her S3 stocks, maybe Stardust Live to give you that flat stock boost, maybe Council of 10 to give you the extra stock boost as well, same as Stardust Live, in order to be spamming it again and again before you actually have to replenish her SCT. Now, there's a lot of things in the game that will be dead with just a few of those because, you know, it's 60k caps, and let's say her base is 66 against, or 67 against weak. Let's call it 70k. 70k times 16 is 1.12 million. That's a lot of damage in less than a second. Just chunk. So she flourishes really, really well in situations where you do have an SCT battery, where you do have a number of skills that you need to use or that you can use before she runs out. So her S3 is definitely the gem of this. Now, along those lines, the S2, quit wasting my time, she does instantly close the gap. Sure, it's not super fast, it's not like a warp, but it's like a push towards the enemy. And she does catch all the flinchable enemies in the way and pushes them along with it, which is really, really cool. She also transformed into like a tiger lion thing. I don't know. Oh, I guess she's a panther. I don't know. Lore specific panther, but it's an okay skill. It's not the biggest DPS skill, and I think it is actually the lowest of all 3. But it's nice having a gap closer, nice having that mechanic of pushing enemies. You don't see this too often. I know, just off the top of my head, there are some that push, and I'm super, super glad that it's not like Shift Millim's S3, where you know how when we were playing that in when she came out, we realized that it was only a single target push. Even if the enemy was in a group of enemies, it's like she grabs them out of the group and just throws them to the back wall, which is cool in itself, but it's not that viable in most gameplay. She, on the other hand, does push the entire group, that AoE group, as she hits them, and I like that a lot. So, in specific scenarios, that might be some very useful mechanics of her, but in most content, you probably won't care about it. I mean, just that's more of like a in-tune thing, like a very, very optimal thing that you'll need to pay attention to if you ever need it. But her special is pretty cool. The animations are dope. Let's get this over with. I know I made a short video, a little bit, YouTube short or whatever earlier today, that I tried to cap her out, fully enable her. Being that 50 hits of complete AoE damage, AoE thunder damage, is kind of nice because you can enable the crap out of it, right? A 50 hitter, you use things like cat boosts, they affect all 50 hits, as opposed to Bayonetta's like 15 hits, where it's those cat boosts are basically a third as effective. Now she has a fine special, Bayonetta has a fine special, but an AoE 50 hitter, if you have the things to boost her, that can rival as some of the best special damage in the game, which is really nice, in my opinion. And not only that, after the special's done, it does apply that defense minus 35% debuff. So yes, it does apply the debuff. It is not before the damage hits happen. So that is one thing to consider. It happens after the special's done, like it procs the debuff itself. So it has not only utility, but also some solid damage. And not that most people use alts for damage nowadays. I think in most content, it's probably frowned upon. Like, I mean, time trials nowadays that specials just aren't used because it hurts the timer. In multiplayer, you don't really use specials just because you can just do that amount of damage with skills in general. And maybe for your single player play, maybe in Tower of Trials, maybe in story mode, if you need a special, it's there. But it was fun to enable that today, early today with YouTube short. So check that out if you have not. Onto the traits. Heiress to the Umbra Witches. This is where she gets her single wielding damage. So cap for hitting weakness. As we've kind of explained before, she's kind of like Stan, where she gets that big boost to her attribute of pick, attribute of choice. She gets another 15,000 cap. And then this is, I think, one of the most important parts of her kit and of her utility in the game is this atrophy debuff. So it happens both when there's battle start and when revived. Give all enemies the atrophy debuff. So no matter what, at battle start and when she's resurrected, she will give the entire team that atrophy debuff, no matter what her HP is. But every 10 seconds, if she is above 80% HP or more, she re-gives it. So this HP debuff has a duration of 10 seconds. So at battle started and when revived, if you actually get her up to that 80% or more threshold, she will reapply it. Now, why is this so important is because it is a very unique buff that we have not seen on many. I don't think actually I've ever seen the buff before. It does look like a generic buff, so if we ever get anything like it, things like that will not stack. But it is a full damage dealt decrease by 30% from all of the enemies while it's on the enemy. That's a very strong multiplier just passively for being on the field. And that's what we like, make your life easier, making you not have to cast anything. Like, that's really nice. And especially for places like boss battles where maybe you've been struggling to survive. Maybe in places like Arena where this is another multiplicative damage mitigation for especially all the battle start stuff that happens for people running spell render, for people running mages. Like, this is another than minus 30% damage, which is going to help your entire team survive. I really like the atrophy debuff, and the fact that they made it instant and reapplying is pretty dope to me. Trait 2, Moth Within, won't faint from enemy attacks, similar to Bayonetta. When magically attacked, chance to give unit witch time buff. I think the most important part here is that this says magically attacked. Bayonetta had said physically here, as well as from the passive itself of witch time in their kits. They both proc it from physicals. So this means Jeanne can proc witch time from both magical and physical attacks, instead of Bayonetta being only physical. Now, Bayonetta has a higher chance because there are two independent chances of it procking on physicals, but Jeanne has an equal lower chance of doing magical, of procking on magical and physical, which is cool. I think that that helps her out a bit in, honestly, places like Arena. Witch time buff active, damage minus 30%, full flinch from magic attacks. So this is not as crazy as a witch time buff as Bayonetta has. Bayonetta has like all these skill damage boosts, skill cap boosts, and the damage mitigation is also there. But it does give her unflinching, 50 flinch res to magical attacks. And along with the passive that we talked about with Bayonetta, and the same, they do have the same passive. She gets super armor essentially from magical attacks while witch time is up, as well as super armor from physical attacks. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to me, and definitely going to be useful in places like Arena, especially. She is very, very tailored to Arena. Give physical / magical attack damage taken plus 20% debuff to enemy that is activated Witch Time buff. So any unit that procs Witch Time on her, this will proc that debuff. Now, the funny thing is that her Witch Time only lasts, yes, 5 seconds, as we talked about with Bayonetta, and she has a chance to proc it again. The buff on the enemy, though, lasts 40 seconds. So she has chances for multiple enemies to proc this during the course of the battle, or to even reapply it to the same enemy over the course of the battle. So passively, as she continues to proc Witch Time in battles, the enemies are just going to be taking more and more. I mean, it doesn't stack with themselves, but it will reapply that on multiple, if not the same enemy, multiple times. So I think that's an important aspect of her. That's a cool little debuff, and she for that attribute debuff, she makes the entire party take less damage, but she also, proccing that, makes the enemies take more damage, and that's obviously doubly effective. That's a double-edged sword for the enemies to be even fighting her, which is cool. Let's go over the innate stuff. Fighting Spirit 5, Resolve up 5, Heroism up. This is just, I love the HP, Defense, Mind, Strength. She does have some nice stuff in her kit, and she does want to be built a little bit bulkier. And she has some offensive power, but definitely wants being built a little bit bulkier. Crit up 3, Aim Vitals, Proud Force. You always like to see those because they help out with sustain. And definitely crit for damage, Aim Vitals for damage, but mostly for critting on Proud Force for sustain. You want to keep her HP above 80%. Royal Armor, less critical hits. Half the amount of critical hits are going to be affecting her. So if a unit's going to be fighting you with 50 crit rate against you, they essentially reduce down to 25%, which is really cool. That definitely inhibits the spike damage that you see on, especially in places like Arena. Auto Brave, Auto High Protection. Auto Brave is cool, but Auto High Protection is sick. The fact that she gets High Protection constantly for minus 35% physical damage. Bulky. Auto Haste, of course, this is pretty standard on most units nowadays. It turns her, SCT skills that needed, chops it down by 25% essentially. Patience, close to death, defense plus 30%, cool. Thunder Drive, Thunder Mega Drive, Thunder Attack Race 3. She does not have a ton of multipliers here, right? Being a singular, yeah, she gets base multipliers are already pretty good because she's not cutting her damage by, 40% splitting into 2 for dual wield. But she only has Thunder Drive, Thunder Mega Drive, and Thunder Attack Race 3. I wish I would have seen some more, maybe Thunder High Drive, maybe Thunder Attack Race 1 or 2 in here. But, what are you going to do? Can't change it now. So those are definitely things to look out for to add. Physical weak point boost, of course, she has this. It just makes sense because her trait 1 wants you to be attacking weaknesses. Just getting that extra 30% damage. And this will make you find ways, especially with her trait 1, to find ways how to drop resist for the enemies. And nowadays, we do have many units with unique abilities that can pair well with her that drop Thunder Res by quite a bit. So definitely, even though she is single wielding, there are ways to drop it. And most of them are in the DOH pool. So Maglion Shield, taking less damage from ranged attacks, which is cool. Favorite Sword, Doppelhander boost are all good things for damage cap for her. Of course, damage cap on Doppelhander boost, the single version, not 2, is going to be on the Dreadworm Gallanova arc, so that's another 3k cap you can add. And just being a single wielder gives her damage, crit rate, and special cap and all that good stuff. Sword High Boost, Sword Mega Boost. This feels pretty standard to be in her kit for physical damage. Close High Boost again for some mitigation and some extra physical damage boost. Armor equipped, HP plus 15%. Because she does like equipping clothes innately, just having something in the armor slot will give her HP plus 15%. What this does not do is forcing you to use the armor specifically. This just references in the armor slot, so your second slot, top to bottom. You can use a robe, you can use clothes, you can use an armor, but just that slot needs to be filled to get that 15%. Indomitable Spirit, again, this is her taking a lethal damage, survive and recover 50% HP, and then she gets a 30% skill damage buff. She does have a couple ways to survive lethal damage, so this being there for free if she doesn't have Witch Time up is nice. And she gets a little skill damage boost. Giant Shield, less damage for bosses, cool. Witch Time. So I'm not going to reference this too hard, go through it, but this is what I was talking about. So when physically attacked, chance to give Witch Time buff. So this is her physical damage proc of Witch Time, as well as her trait that activates off of magical. And then, yes, she has super armor for flinching, and it lasts 5 seconds. You cannot cycle through it. You have to wait that entire 5 seconds, and then anything that hits you afterwards can or has a chance to reproc it, whether physical or magical. You're worthless. Witch Time buff active when taking lethal damage from a physical/magic attack. Survive with 1 HP until that attack ends. Because she is trying to survive and can proc Witch Time on physical and magical attacks, she does have a pretty high chance of this being active when she's taking lethal damage. Sure, maybe it doesn't work versus specials, right? Specials are mostly the big nuke in the game, but she has one thing that saves her, right? If she has a special, gets hit with a special, Indomitable Spirit is there. It's unconditional. When she takes lethal damage, she will heal back 50%. So that if it's special damage that's killing you, you'll live by this. But if it's physical or magical, you'll have, and Witch Time is up, you'll have a chance to survive at 1 HP until that attack ends. And that's more so the combo of the attack that's hitting you. So if you get hit by, I just want to use an example, a Shift Nero 3-second S3. And if you're supposed to die on that first hit of the skill, the rest of the skill will not kill you. You'll just stick at 1 HP, which is cool. I mean, I don't think that's like, broken or anything, but it's just helpful for her survival, and I'm fine with it. Be Gone. Boost physical attack damage cap based on number of debuffs on target, basically for up to 5 debuffs. So the amount of debuffs that you get on the enemy, up to 5, you get a 10% damage, 1,000 cap. This is like very easy to hit in my experience. If you're using supports with debuffs, if you're even using anything that affects enemies, and we went over this when Lagrange came out and how many different debuffs there are in the game, or not Lagrange, Thouser, when Thouser came out. And there's like 80 some different types of debuffs that we even have in the game right now. Or not 80, I think it was 40 something. Like, all of this basic stat buffs, her atrophy buff, or her attribute, sorry, basic stat debuffs, the atrophy debuffs, animas, circles, weak, Anula Mouth, all those count as debuffs. This 5,000 damage cap is very, very easy to hit, as well as, more importantly, the multiplier of it, so 50% multiplier. Be Gone is a nice skill and definitely something that's easily achievable, especially for if you're just generally in a battle and casting things to debilitate the enemy. Is that all? When unit has a debuff, damage dealt plus 20%. When unit has a status ailment, damage taken minus 20%. So the one thing that I do know about this, and this is pretty cool, so while she's being debuffed, she does more damage against the enemy. While she's being debilitated by status ailments, she takes less damage, so she turtles in a little bit. So it further enforces her damage taking as well as damage output. I just want to give a shout out to one skill that we've seen. We got back in Halloween, and we kind of knew it was useful for Lagrange, but the way this works, Masquerade, which is a 1 SC skill from the Halloween driving arc that we got. If you were here and played it all, you probably got that arc. 1 SC will give a random type to unit. What this is it's not a passive typing addition to your unit. It's sort of like Shift Goroth's, it's exactly like Shift Goroth's ability to add typings to the enemies on his special, right? It appears as a debuff to your unit. So if I'm equipping this with her, this applies an automatic debuff until your first incapacitation for adding 1 type to yourself. So it can be any of the 16 types, but as long as she has a debuff on her, it will activate Is That All? So for 1 SC, until her first incapacitation, this will give her 20% damage. That's a pretty good return, I'd say. I wouldn't necessarily, force a status ailment onto her, just because most of them are pretty debilitating. If we had an easy way to proc poison on herself, I think that's probably the best one, but we don't have a very conducive way, a very synergistic way to do that just yet. So if we do ever get that, though, that would be the ailment of choosing that I would put on her to force her to give her 20% less damage taking, because these are passive things, right? That Masquerade is proccing that 20% damage dealt passively. It's not interfering with anything. If she has a status ailment, it's not interfering with anything. It's just a multiplicative 20% less damage. So, I stake my honor as an Umbra. Damage taken from knights, gods, spirits, stone type enemies minus 10%. This is, in fact, the opposite of what Bayonetta got. This was like her Slayer package that she received. Jeanne got a shield package, which is fine. And notably, she doesn't come with all the Slayers. She doesn't come with all the special boosts, stuff like that. She is more tailored to a bulky defensive unit. but she has some of the fastest skills in the game for DPS, which is really, really cool. But yeah, that's her innate passives. Booda, you got anything to add there?
I mean, I'm just over here distracted by the support that we're getting on the stream right now.
Getting support, bro. I haven't been looking over, so I'm just going to continue. You keep getting it. Well played, boys. Let's go over her paids, because I know people have a lot of questions about it. And I'm just going to start off the rip. Just like Bayonetta, they both have incredible paids in both of them, right? Angel Slayer, her sword being Thunder attribute, of course. Her attribute of choice. 245 strength. Chance for skill attacks to give physical damage minus 20%. This is the coolest part about it. Because she has, I don't know the chance of it yet, but she has a chance being single wielded, and it's not that much chance, but it's single wielding is tough to proc stuff on hit attacks. Dual wielding is obviously better at it. But she does have a chance to proc a debuff on the enemy for minus 20% physical damage. This is the similar debuff to Shift Tinkili's, Nocturne Tinkili's special that applies it. I think Weapon Break or something like that decreases the enemy's physical damage output. It's that kind of debuff. And she has, with her paid, has a chance to proc it at any point. Not only that, when she does have one weapon equipped, Thunder attack damage plus 20%, Thunder damage cap plus 3,000. So she does get a damage boost and a cap boost, which we kind of expect nowadays on all the credential paid equipment, or at least the weapons. So that's a very good weapon, and synergizes very well with her. If she does have a chance to proc that physical damage taken or physical damage output, it stacks with things like atrophy. It stacks with things like Is That All? It stacks with all the bulkiness of the crew, because that it's not affecting, just the damage to her. It's affecting the damage of that enemy output against your team, which is more important, I think, than just singular selfish damage mitigation. Cool. On to Jeanne's clothes, because these are kind of awesome, but not for every area of the game, I don't think. So continuous regen effect, fair enough. Give it to me some regen. We want her to stay at 80% HP or above, so this helps it. Chance to nullify damage taken from physical/magical attacks. Playing directly into her Witch Time buff. You know what's funny about this? I'm pretty sure even if she evades it and if it turns the damage to 0, it still has a chance to proc the Witch Time itself. So even if you're nullifying the damage, it's not necessarily giving you a less chance to proc Witch Time, which is cool. And I don't know the chances, probably 5 to 10% per each, but we don't know. The coolest part about this is that we've seen on some other God Forges, some other units, on this paid effect, nullify anti-knight type effects. This is something that is not necessarily useful in PvE, right? So we don't have the ability to tell what a boss is particularly has anti-typing 4 effectiveness versus your own units, and most of the time we don't really give a shit about that, to be fair. But she has the ability to nullify all anti-typing effects against herself because she is a knight. So let's say you have Vayne, right, who is human buster or human slayer. I think it's human buster, and he's attacking your Jeanne without these clothes. He's going to deal human slayer damage, anti-typing damage against you because it encompasses the Knight Slayer, right? You will take, if they have special boost, you will take double the damage. If you have this and you're nullifying the anti-knight type effects, which is a conglomerate or is a part of the human buster stuff, she doesn't take the double damage. She takes the normal damage as if there was no slayers involved at all. So it's PvP thing. Can it be pretty effective? Yes, absolutely. It puts a ceiling on the amount of damage that you can possibly do, the amount of effects that the enemies can have against you. The amount of damage boost, I guess I should say, that the enemies can have against you, because Slayers are very, very powerful. I don't know if you guys, I know most of you probably know this, but Slayers, if you can match up the right Slayer and special boost with the enemy, that's one of the most potent SC boosts you can get for its cost, right? But the fact that she completely nullifies that for PvP, essentially, is pretty cool. Now, I will say, if you decide to use my advice to use Masquerade in Arena, that is going to give you an extra typing. Yes, it will enable that Is That All, but that's going to give you an extra typing and open you up to Slayer damage. This, on the other hand, if you don't use that, she will stay knight. So you will not go out, you will not reach outside of that and have any more typings to allow yourself to be hit with Slayer damage. So I think, yes, straight up PvP oriented. And, a lot of her kit screams PvP. I think a lot of people are used to the fact by now of kind of understanding that of all the passives and stuff that tailor more towards PvP. She definitely does that. But with that said, she has some great PvE damage. And I just have Mithril Relief on here. I know I used, what's the other weapon here? The accessory.
I think you don't know
ODM
what you're
gear.
talking about, Tweaks.
What?
I think you're crazy. I mean, I calculated like a 40,000 damage cap. There's no way.
You think Jeanne sucks in PvE? And she has no DPS?
I think she's mid AF.
All right, let's go check it out, baby. So, yeah, we heard that a lot on our release and our info videos, and people just kind of being like, "Oh, her kit looks meh." I enjoy that type of banter because I feel like, maybe we're at different parts in the game, and maybe we understand different aspects of it, right? And we can kind of visualize. I mean, a lot of the veteran community is very good at that pre-analysis before a unit comes out, before testing comes out. And a lot of us realize that testing is needed for things like this. If we want to see, you can't tell from, you can't tell the whole story from the release video. You just can't. So why don't we just go in and see just what she can do? This is going to be kind of funny because I didn't do this. I did this on Steam earlier, but I didn't do it on, why don't we just bring Tinkilly? I didn't do it on my iOS yet. So I'm hoping it won't lag as much. It should be great. Should be great. Yeah. Cool.
In this little midway point, I do want to thank those who are contributing to the stream. Peanut Butter Jelly, Michael Burnside, Chuck92, Vember. Y'all are some real ones.
So guys, I just want to show you real quick. I have Masquerade on. This gives me, sure, a random bird type. It was one of the 16 that got procced on me. And now that activates the Is That All. But our purpose here is to destroy these enemies with S3, right? This is the most fun, and you'll see this damage just absolutely chunk. This S3 is very, very quick. The cycle speed's very quick. The damage comes out really quick. It's like 1/ bang, they're dead. Not 1/ bang, they're dead, but 1/ bang, the skill's over. And it has pushed out all the damage that it can possibly do. So we're gonna Theo just to center him a little bit, and we're just gonna crush him. I hope we crush him. Yeah, no DPS at all.
I think
Did
that
you miss
was
it?
a glitch. I think that was a glitch.
Seems legit. 1 second clear with actual physical DPS. Yeah.
Tweaks.
Should I do it again?
Are you using a
Did you miss
mod?
it?
Do we
Should
need
I-
to have a talk?
Should I do it again? Do you want to watch this time? Don't blink. Don't blink this time, alright? Booda? Don't blink. Mind you, I only have 4 debuffs on, so, I'm missing it. I'm missing the caps, so I suck. Sorry.
Um.
You look bad.
Hmm.
Okay, so in all seriousness, her S3 is very quick. If you have the ability, like I said, mentioned before on her S3, if you have the ability to refill the skill stocks, because she can spam it so quick, that is absolutely her best DPS skill. Her S1 and S3 fall very, very short of that. And I'll just show her S1 right now. We'll spam it. It's just as quick. The problem is that it just has only 6 hits. Her S3 is 16, so by ipso facto, it's less than 2.5 times, or less, just a huge amount less damage, right? Oh, I'm lagging a little bit. My screen didn't like that. Perk 2 battles. So we'll use just the S1, okay? Cool, good damage. just nowhere near the same amount. Right.
I do like that animation a lot.
I do too. It reminds me of Violet.
Mm-hmm. Very quick.
Mm-hmm. Definitely very quick.
Definitely.
Now let's go over S2. Her S2 is cool, but again, her S1 and S2 fall very, very short in the comparison of actual DPS. So let's do it. Let's do it. So now am I a sniper right now? Nice. I actually love this little game of like trying to recognize the typings.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
All right. See how she's pushing the shit out of him? She actually lost Galbor because he got thrown out.
Yeah,
so that was unfortunate. I don't think I was targeting him anyways. I think I was targeting the back one, but I don't know.
Yeah, but it turns her into a cat.
It turns her into a cat, and you know there are a lot of people that like that.
And you don't say.
Not here though. I know you pretty well. I don't think you're into that. But yeah, pretty cool. I wanted to bring the regular attack in because I like her animations.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I actually did not. I'm not privy to her normal attacks.
You didn't see it yet? Or you didn't care about it? Is that what you mean?
Didn't see it.
You haven't seen it yet? Alright, cool. It's a pretty funny animation. Let's explore it. So I put in Aldanian Coliseum to get us some flinch res.
Huh.
It's like an explosion.
Yeah.
Look at that. She kicks some rain.
She shoots out of her heel.
Yeah.
Isn't that what
dope.
Bayonetta's supposed to do?
You would think. Look at that. She missed, he ran away, and she still shot at him.
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, come on.
And then I'll just finish it with S3.
That S3, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of I guess Adel's S1 was like the last quick spam type of thing like that, but it doesn't have 16 hits.
No. Oh, you mean with her S3?
Yeah, comparing that super spammy. I know you love, and you made me love, those super spammy fast DPS skills.
You mentioned Ardeen?
Well, I was going to say Ardeen is the originator.
Woohoo, baby.
Yeah. I don't think anyone compares to
he's just ridiculous.
Ardeen versus dragons.
Yeah, it's like literally the most niche scenario. That's the highest. It's disgusting.
It's lovely.
Yeah, super spammy is really nice. I mean, yes, and like I'm going to explain again. If you don't have the SCG, keep it up.
Yeah.
Then it becomes maybe not as potent.
No.
But if you do, it's really fun.
Toys make things fun.
Yeah, for sure. Let's check out our special, because I know I showed this, and we talked about it before. I showed this on the YouTube short earlier. And it won't do nearly as much damage, because it's not fully enabled. But, pretty cool. But motorcycle, I mean, people wanted her motorcycle in the game. They wanted it.
There it is. Yeah.
That S3. Dude, that S3 is
that
just
S3.
filthy. Oh, man. Super cool. And I haven't even talked about, I mean, we're not seeing her damage mitigation. Just trust me that it's there, right? Like, I'm very impressed with the amount of team utility she has, right? She has the damage, sure. But it's more so, she has that damage while also helping out the team, dropping that, damage dealt by the enemies. And I think you and we talked about, like, the break. You remember when I did, like, break comparison of what affects what? Like, increasing your own break versus increasing the break damage received by the enemies.
Yep.
It's two very different things. And, you could decrease your own damage taken, or you could go straight to the source and decrease the output that they have. And HFE does exactly that. So that's a different multiplier of personal damage mitigation. And then, like, along with this physical damage attack, right? And I kind of want to go do that and try to see if I can proc it. It might be a little hard because, again, she's single-wheeled, so she doesn't have a lot of hits to do that. But we're gonna see. I'll look for the buff to come up. There we go. See? Okay, so this is a good example. The boss hit me, procced witch time. Bang. He gets boosted physical damage taken and boosted magic damage taken against. Cool. Now we are going to see if we can proc. Okay, well, stop running around.
That wasn't it right there? That purple all?
There it is, right there. Bang. You're absolutely correct.
Okay.
This one. Cut physical damage dealt. There you go. So these are all stacking. That's all I'm saying. Each of you can cut damage dealt. Stacks. Multiplicatively. Just great. She turns into a panther and just runs at them.
Pretty dope.
Dope. Very, very dope. Very much utility. And this is one of the biggest reasons why I was not necessarily excited about Bayonet. She is just a damage dealer, right? She doesn't do anything outside, no utility, no help for the party. Yes, she can synergize with other units and synergize with the team to pump out that damage. And she's great at it. But when you have ulterior motives like, maybe I need to survive a little bit. Maybe I still want to do some damage and survive. Like Jeanne is doing that. I think just a tiny section to go over her would be nice to state other units that do pair well with her. And, since she's a single wielder, she's probably going to need some help in heavier thunder resist content, right? Some people that do that, one being Mia, right? Mia has a thunder rod capability. I'm not saying you should use her in all content. She's not amazing in PvE. But what she does have is this lightning rod debuff, which does drop the thunder res by 20, just innately as she attacks enemies. Lagrange, also, he has an anima that drops, which I don't have it equipped. Of course I don't. The Divine Beast anima drops thunder dark resist by -20, so you can pair her with him. Just to get that flat -20. Now, you don't necessarily need to do this, right? So I'm mentioning the unique stuff. The other one that I think has something unique that is stacks with other things like it is going to be Lennius. Lennius has the Elemental Circle, which I sorted by skill cost. Actually, this is perfect. Skill cost, and it is right here. This is another type of circle that reduces all 4 of those resistances by -20. So that's 3 ways to drop it -20. We also have the ability to do the general stuff. Like, these are unique stuff. You have the general stuff of using, for her, it's going to be Ice Circle. Ice Circle, if you have this on your support and they apply this, enemy's going to have -20 thunder resist. Or Giga Weak. Giga Weak, same thing. Just single target versus AoE. Another -20 overall all resist. So that's -100 so far, which obviously you can't use them all at once, but that's a lot of damage mitigation, or not damage mitigation, but damage cutting from the resist dropping, which is awesome. Yeah, so I just want to mention those few. Just because she is a single wield does not mean she is forced to go into all content fighting thunder resist. Like, there are ways around it. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Booda, did you have anything to add to Jeanne? Because she's pretty cool.
She is
her
cool.
S3 is definitely banger. Her damage mitigation is awesome.
Yep.
I brought her into Kraken earlier, and she absolutely demolished it for no reason. So.
Oh yeah, I can totally see that. I mean, when I look at her kit, obviously, like you said, that team utility is just what absolutely makes up for not the craziest damage accessible easily.
Yeah.
And more, honestly. At this point in time in the game, we've been so flooded with DPS that even the sprinkle of team utility that we see with Jeanne here, it's just nice. And it's
fantastic,
enticing. And she has that extremely spammable S3 with very comparable damage. I really consider her like a good model for what I would consider a desirable bruiser type of build in this game.
Sure. Yeah. I totally agree. The couple things she is missing. So obviously she's missing the ability to drop thunder res herself. She needs people to do that for her. She does not have any SCT regen. She has auto haste, sure, but that's time based. She doesn't have any come innate with like Pose of Glory. She doesn't come innate with like Ale of Glory. She doesn't come innate with Pyrus Feast. She doesn't come innate with, anything like Shiv Zykes has, who that crazy playtime's over buff. She has no SCT recovery. So you will need to add that to her, and that's why I kind of mentioned a few times by now that she'll need to be fed SCT.
Yeah.
But if she can get that working up and running, that S3 is spicy. Yeah, she's pretty sweet.
Exactly. Yeah, and even if you're not accessing that, she's freaking bulky and she's making...
Bulky. Dude, her with M Theory in any team, just add anyone else, you're just like, okay, well...
Well, I
GG's.
mean, I feel bad for those who weren't here during the rerun, but her and Gen are just like match made in heaven.
I mean, yeah, if you want to even use her as the main DPS, just having her, even if you build her full glass cannon as much as you could, she's still going to be applying those damage mitigation buffs to you and onto the enemy. Yeah, dude. Really fun.
It's
really
great.
fun.
Addressing Chuck's comment about Mecha Dragon, that does give,
yeah,
I believe, a redundant one that you already mentioned, didn't you? Or is it a unique one?
No. That's actually a unique one. That's like an actual attribute debuff. It's minus 20. But I think he's talking about the Mecha Dragon Veldios arc.
Yes.
Veldis arc. This is cool and all, but it does force you to have to regular attack to proc it.
And use an entire arc slot.
And use your entire arc slot for it. So it does feel a little bad, 100%. Yes, it's usable and absolutely is something to be mentioned, but I would personally much rather find it if I would just apply weak from a support over to using this. And definitely I wouldn't be using this in multiplayer, sitting there hitting my regular attack button while I could be spamming skills, So yes, it's an effective thing for dropping Thunder Res, but it's not really effective in the whole scheme of gameplay.
That's for your accounts that are really lacking. Yeah.
Do you want to go over the LR, bro?
Let's talk about the LR.
We talk about it? So, cool LR, honestly. I'm just going to start off with, there is nothing in this collab that's a must pull, but this has some pretty interesting passives on it, or some pretty interesting stuff on it that is definitely useful. The passives themselves, maybe not so much, right? Skill damage to airborne enemies, cool. Situational. When unit is airborne, damage taken by 20%. Again, situational. But these are nice boosts to damage and to damage taken. During battle, unit and highest strength allies max HP plus 15%. Cool. You and your best buddy who have the highest strength are going to get 15% more HP. Sorter machine equipped. Attack specials have a chance to deal critical damage. The fact that this takes up the arc slot, unfortunately, means that you're losing the ability to attack on a special and use the Heaven's Bow Star-Lord, which would be an optimal position for you to attack to crit on specials. At this point, if you have this on and you crit with specials, it's mostly used for sustain, like Proud Force. And yeah, if you're not capping already, you could cap out your damage, but it's based on your crit rate. So I mean, I don't see the passes being crazy. Where it gets interesting is the learnables and the AER. So learnables, attack up to whatever. We've seen this on multiple works before. Witch Heart, HP plus 10% for 3SC, not bad. I don't feel like I'll be equipping this very often, but it isn't bad for 3SC. God Shield, pretty sure we've seen this before. I don't know what exactly arc it's on, but 10% less damage taken from gods. This just helps mitigation if you feel like using it against gods. Poli's Butterfly is the skill you're looking for if you're getting this in-game. Battle start, give a damage taken minus 20% buff for 20 seconds. Why is this potent? This is an all damage buff at battle start that we don't have anything like. This is a fast buff, right? Yes, it only lasts for 20 seconds, but for 4SC, you get a multiplicative all minus 20% damage taken for the first 20 seconds. Where is this cool? Well, maybe in PvE with battles you're expecting a special off the rip, but most importantly, PvP. Especially Jeanne, especially this spell right here, or this passive right here, you're going to have that active. You're going to have 30%, that 30% from HV active. Overall, that's a 44% damage reduction from the enemies before what we had before in Arena. So if you've been getting bursted down by a lot of stuff, Jeanne plus Poli's Butterfly are going to make a big difference. Even without Jeanne, just this right here. essentially a 0.8x multiplier of all damage that's incoming to you for the first 20 seconds. I'm in. Like, it's definitely not must-pull territory, but if you do get this, similar to how we were excited about Time to Kick Some Ass when it came out, that passive that for the first 40 seconds you get 20% physical damage boost. You know, it's a generic icon, but we didn't have anything like it, and that's the back in the DMC collab. This is along the same lines of where it's absolutely very useful. That one more so PvE, this one more so PvP. So yes, very, very cool, and this is definitely a very good learnable skill. Auto Brave, sure, whatever, don't really care that much. I pretty much don't ever equip on this onto people, to be honest, but you can use it if you like. Thunder Critical Raise, 12 SC, critical rate of thunder attacks plus 5%, critical power plus 50%. We didn't have this before, and you know, critical raises are not the most used skill in the game, but for places where you'd want more crit rate for thunder attacks, sure, I get it. And then critical power plus 50%, that is like a multiplicative boost, so all your criticals are now 50% stronger, essentially. For 12 SC, no, but it's nice having it in the pool to be learnable. And yeah, of course, it's on an LR, so even if you do miss out on it, all this stuff's on an LR. Like, there's a big reason why they're not adding like OP things on LRs anymore, because so many people complain. Like, people are asking, and I think I want to address this right now. People are asking for things like, you know, expecting things like Honey Elixir, like Luna's Apple Pie, like Last Record, Keen Eye, Gaze of the End, stuff like that. They're expecting things like that on LRs. The problem is, because people have been complaining so much about having OP things on LR arcs, when people are saying like, oh, hey, this should be on there, we want an alternative to that. Well, they're not going to put it on there because people complain that it's all even on there in the first place, right? I think the solution to that, and why people kind of try to cope with that aspect, is that yes, they probably should add a permanent, maybe less powerful version, but a permanent version of those skills that's permanently acquirable on maybe like a grindable UR arc in the game. Like, we don't have, that's another friggin' tangent. Where's our endgame content in-game, in story mode, on the Grandar maps, in the Lilyhammer maps, or yeah, whatever, that are going to give us grindable URs and stuff like that that have those niche things. Yeah, that's a little bit of a tangent that I'm pissed off about. It's fine.
I love it.
But having this stuff, that's why you don't see the OP shit on these arcs anymore, the LR arcs. People like we're talking about the Tales of collab, even these Bayonet arcs, they're like, oh, man, there's no Honey Elixir, there's no Winter's Apple Pie. Yeah, that's because we bitch about it. It's literally because of that. So, as much as it's like a double-edged sword. We want it on there, but we don't want it on there, you know? So, yeah. Arc is cool, learnables are cool. It's not OP by any means, but it is a very good arc. Moon Pearl. This is another aspect of why it's cool. MP plus 5%, ailment, res, silence, and curse, but it gives a fat stack of 70 MP. This is sweet, because it's essentially 70 MP plus another MP up 1. Is it going to be the most broken thing in the game? No, but it is another option. So, right, so we have free-to-play players and people who've grounded the game, forgotten the story. You've done the butterfly shit. You've caught the butterflies, probably. You've gotten the butterfly accessory. That's 77 MP. That's an amazing item. What's funny about this is it's about on par with that. If I was to use, so at max MP for my Sarah, I built her out today. I put the best arc on her, put the best accessories on her, including this one with, I think, the Roy's arc, that 80 MP accessory from FMA. Put all the MP equipment on her, MP ups, arcane ups, all that good stuff. This, even at max MP, this made a difference of 22 MP versus what I had with the butterfly accessory, and that's over 1500. So is it going to be the most OP thing in the world? No. Is it part of the kit of the most MP you could possibly get? Yes. So there are, you don't need to focus on this, but it is very good, especially with, you know, casters who do want that MP. They'll want silence res. Yeah, they'll want curse res too, but mostly the silence res is nice to have on it. So very good accessory. Definitely very usable for your casters, your supports, your people who want MP. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the arc.
It'll be juicy if they ever do an FMA rerun.
Yeah, imagine that. That would, dude.
That'd be a nice.
We talk so much about these like limited skills.
Yeah.
But if they brought back Honey Elixir, Winter's Apple Pie, that'd be nasty.
Pretty Pretty
Um,
nasty.
what do we got, Boods?
What do we got?
Do we got the event still?
I mean, what did we get? We got a couple new equips.
So the event, we got a couple of these. You know, we get the second half witch hunts, which you do have to do in order to get the mission rewards for all this stuff and get her prism and stuff. So do that 60 times. We got this quote unquote high difficulty challenge. This is 19.5 million health. Yeah, we used some cheese on it earlier, so I did 3 seconds. But like,
no surprise.
No, it's okay.
It's Jubileus,
it's
the
just you
HP
fighting Jubileus.
sponge.
Great, awesome. Yeah, it's 20 million health, whatever. Just beat it. You don't have to beat it more than once. And I mean, the fact that it's not hard, they give us a light of the world, so I wasn't expecting it to be that crazy, anyways.
Yeah, that threw me a little bit. They've been pretty good with their radiances after these challenges.
I personally feel this is probably a mistake because that doesn't make any sense to me. Their high difficulty challenges have almost always included a radiance.
Yeah. So,
maybe a mistake. But what more importantly for the event, yes, you have new trading space stuff. You got all these items, these God Realm prisms, and all kinds of, Godforged things. More importantly, you get to catch the crows. And like we discussed with part 1, you can do the select target thing. The crows will appear. Wait for them to appear. Unpause. Go click them. Go get them. And you can get the Rodin sunglasses finally. So, that's a cool accessory. We also did get the accessory for, which I'm getting to, QDJ mask, which is dope. I haven't finished it yet. Can I finish it yet? No. This is wild because the event effect on it, which I can't show you right now. I should probably just do it. The event effect, which we won't. Screw it. We're gonna go in here.
You got this.
It's
I can
50%
show it.
at battle start. At battle start fit, did you do it?
Yeah, I did it.
You're the best, bro. You can cover it up. You can cover it.
Yeah. At plus 40. Look at this thing.
Plus 40. It goes to a plus 100% at battle start in the event. Special gauge. 100%. Bang. Where am I going? Accessories.
Yeah, that's pretty useful with a little bit of cheesing involved.
Little cheese, just a little. Everyone likes a little cheese. So why is this? Man, they're not going to let me switch to the damn view.
It's a plus 40, bro. You gotta get 40. On that level.
I know. I was going to show my plus 36, so you would see that it's not. But at plus 40, it changes from 50% to 100% special gauge in the event itself, which is some cool effects. I will give them that.
I don't think you get anything before it's plus 40.
Yes, you do. You get 50%. 100%.
Are you sure?
Yeah, dude. That's not even a question.
It should show that.
No, it doesn't. Oh, it does. I just can't switch to the screen of where it shows it, right? So here, watch QDJ.
Good lord.
5-star right here. Event. Let me switch to the event. Holy.
Dude, it did. There was nothing. There's nothing. How do you know this?
I literally had it and it showed me.
Can anyone confirm in the chat that Tweaks isn't
where did I see
insane?
This is ridiculous.
And that I need to maybe get him a psychiatric evaluation?
If I click it in the damn event shop, I'm pretty sure it says 50%. Yes, thank you. Other people are saying it says 50%.
Fair enough.
I believe Blizzard.
Dodge the bullet.
Why can't it tell me?
This is weird.
Because I'm not in the event. Damn it.
I'm not either.
Watch.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, easy.
Boom.
Ah.
Eat it.
Fair enough.
I couldn't find it because it wasn't in the event. What a mistake. All right, well, we found it.
Cheers.
I'm red. Anyways, yeah, plus 50% is cool and all, but that plus 100% is spicy. That's for every single way. That's just battle start. Battle start.
It's cool. I mean, like you said, it's going to be interesting when we get the time trial next week, but as it currently stands, without the time stop, specials have just like...
I'm surprised they have been just doing that consistently, right? I mean, I don't mind it. It's not a bad system at all. I do like the non-time stops.
It changes it up
because you get to learn stuff. It does change up stuff. I feel like it's a lot more skill based at the end.
Mm.
And maybe not so heavily UR skill dependent.
Mm.
But I still like the UR skill stuff. So
Still limited shit.
yeah, all the limited stuff's gonna come out in BOP, especially if you know how to synergize it really, really well.
Yeah.
Booda, I think that's enough for the event. I think it's time for you to show out.
What? It's time to move into the thing that people like to do in these games?
Yeah, some of us.
The actual content that this game provides? So,
you can do whatever you want.
You guys see, you do your thing. Show her off, guys. So, we've had a poll. 221 votes.
Hoo-wee, did I vote? I did vote. Yeah, let's go.
Shout out to y'all. It was
Do I get
interesting.
anything special for getting it right?
Well, no.
Whale.
No. I will give you a virtual pat on the back.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course.
I really do.
I got you. After the podcast.
Okay.
So,
Selfish.
Look it. In the beginning, Daddy Zykes was running away with it. Did you see that?
I can't see the results.
You can't see anything? I thought you could. Okay.
Oh, baby.
And then as we continued.
As we started talking about her.
People started seeing the light shine down. The tweaks exposed. Jeanne, however you say her name.
Jeanne.
And, I think hopefully change some people's perspective, because I think the opinion of her being mid AF is just
stupid. It's stupid.
False. It's just a bad opinion, no matter how you look at it.
It's absolutely trash opinion, 100%.
So we talked about something, or it was brought up earlier, tweaks, that I think you're a big fan of, and that is account utility.
Account utility. Usability in all content. Quality of life, more so.
Quality of life is mainly what I'm getting at.
Bang.
And so, while Jeanne came in and definitely provides that utility, right? We talked about her atrophy debuff.
100%.
I think she's going to have some very interesting defensive builds, coupled with probably being able to smack some things in arena, which I'm very, very interested to see.
Definitely.
But if we switch gears and talk about quality of life, which I think I would consider a form of utility.
100%.
We've got someone else who was introduced not too long ago, before the collab started and during Daddy Zykes' podcast. It actually was brought up, the aspect of farming, right? And your boy Booda sadly downplayed the crap out of, I think, Zykes when it first got brought up, because I drew attention to the Beast Hunter getting it to Arc Skill level 10 video that I had made, and how having that is just super useful. Manual farmers are not really that big of a deal anymore. And you quickly jumped in along with some other community members in the chat and discussed that, well, the thing about Zykes is that he actually deals a lot of damage, right? And I think over time, it really started to hit me as I saw everyone who shifts Zykes to farm multiplayer stages and their dropped pools compared to mine. And so tweaks. I jump into Discord.
I have no idea who you're picking. No idea.
You have no idea who I'm picking.
Yeah, I'm confused still.
Well, a lot of you, I would say 38% to Jeanne, 36% to Zykes, 24% to Bayonetta. I jumped into Discord earlier today, and ask some people to talk me off the ledge of pitying for Shift Zykes.
Did anyone do it?
I didn't get a single person try to discourage me. Not because I think it's smart to go 75,000 crystals right off the gate for a newly introduced unit.
Yeah.
But I have been throwing passive summons towards Shift Zykes. Whenever I get like a 300 crystal boost, I throw a single summon. And I've accumulated 100 pity medals already, right? That's 33%. No. What is that? What's the percentage of that? 30%? I think 30% of the way to pity. Maybe 35. I don't know. Someone can do the math. So it's about 45,000 to pity the rest of him. And if we talk about our value banners, that game volume is in my ears. I can't hear myself talk. No, you're good. Don't change it. While Shift Zykes is going to return on a value banner in the future at some point, right? We can estimate about, 6 months down the line?
Yeah.
Around there?
Yep.
That would, I'm
Almost
assuming, would cost me 30,000. I don't think I'd be able to get him for less than that. Unless you can like pick him as a free unit during the selector banner. At that point in time. However, that's 6 months of needing to wait for like almost, I mean, when I'm looking at y'all's multiplayer drops, it's like almost double the average. Am I incorrect there? Or are those just some really lucky runs?
You're right. There's a lot of utility in those.
And that amount of QOL over that amount of time, in my head, saves me a lot of grind time. So I'm willing to pay the 15,000 crystal premium versus the very high chance that I'd have to pay 30,000 to guarantee him down the line. Right.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
And he's on rate up right now, so you never know.
You probably get him before. Who knows?
Fully prepared to pity him. And so while Jeanne definitely caught my attention, especially after I watched you test her,
yeah,
I just can't deny the QOL that Zykes gives in just multiplayer drops alone, not even to mention all of the cool gimmicks he has and the incredible breaking coupled with his damage and the freaking Council of 10 Arc skill level 9 built into him, and then I can use my Arc skill Council 10 level 10, all that good stuff, right?
Yep. Do you actually need all those extra mid-tier drops though? Yeah, I mean I do. Mine have
absolutely. Are you kidding? Have you seen what Godforge enhancements cost? And this is actually what drew my attention to him, because when I'm going to enhance, it's just absolutely expensive.
Yeah, dude. I mean, listen, I've grinded this shit, especially if you do the Godforge events that increase the rates of the higher stuff. I'm missing a ton of like the mid tiers, especially these. I've done it with Shiv Zykes, and I've done all of them. So like this is an amount for a player who's done these. These are recently I've gotten a ton of. Thunder King Horn from Vajra. This is from Arch Spirit from Lastoria. This is from Necrosion. Those very mid tier ones are very lacking, 100%.
Yes.
Especially if you do them during the Godforge boosted events, which increase the rate of the higher stuff.
Exactly. And I mean, you can see my.
That's like a forever thing.
So many of these first plus 20s need these Forbidden Tails. So many of them need the Necrosion Seeds, like you just mentioned. And I mean, I'm hurting in all areas. Ant Empress, Tarsus I need. So the demand is absolutely there. And as an account that has everything under the sun, I have the modern DPS. I have the meta support since it hasn't changed in the last 2 years. I've got it all. At this point, I'm just looking for things that save me time in the here and now And Zykes has made an extremely strong case as to why he does that for an account like mine. And
I mean, and yeah, he's a great unit himself, regardless of the stealing. Like,
yeah, and there's so much more than just that factor to him. That boy Booda is going to pity tonight, folks. And y'all are going to be here to see if we have to go all the way or if the RNG gods shine down on us. But before we do that, we got a little sponsored summons. Shout out to Michael Burnside.
Burnside coming in.
We are going to throw on... Can you turn off your background music?
I can...
Or actually, no. I'll just do sound effects.
I dropped mine to the least I could go. I don't know if that affects anything.
I don't think so. I still hear it.
You can drop the Discord profile that I have on the podcast to 0. Since it's not me, it's the iPad.
Very good point. Let's get a little music in here then. And do the thing. Well, see, I don't really do chances, so like we're getting him regardless, but yes. We'll see if we get a nice little discount on my free crystals right after we see if we can get lucky here. Warm up the hands and tweaks. You should pick which hand are we starting with.
Right, obviously, curse mark, let's go. Is that left? I don't remember.
No, you got it. It's the right arm. And let's send it. Let's see what we get.
If you go silent, I don't know what happens.
Saying 2 new characters. This is a strong first animation, even though there's only 2 orbs cracking right now. Got 1 flashback. 2 flashbacks. It does go up to the red tweaks.
What the... This is ridiculous. Holy shit, dude. Yo, Barley must be in chat rigging these wraiths. Let's go.
They know. They know.
Bad, dude.
Wow. I'm pretty sure Vember just blessed that summon.
Epic.
And that was a successful Booda spirit bomb right there. Booda gang spirit bomb is what I should say. Well,
I have a question for you.
Yeah, my neck hurts.
Do you think right now... Oh, you did it already. I was going to say go 1 tap Shift Zykes.
Oh, you had to get me earlier.
I know.
There's that freaking stream delay.
I know, it's all good.
I'm so sorry. That would have been
epic. It's alright, finish it out.
We'll finish it out.
Hopefully get the arc well. Let's go.
We're going
arc
with the
6.
left hand. And send it. Lucas, you're not wrong. The podcast luck is undefeated. So we got 3 running up, but cracking at the R. Oh, wow, no flashbacks, no red. Done. They said, there's your luck. Get off. And I will do just that. And now we've got a...
Michael Burnside, thank you, bro. That's sick.
Michael Burnside got us Jeanne. He made dreams come true tonight, ladies and gents.
Chuck did say, what about the tickets? Did you do the tickets yet?
Oh, yeah, believe me.
Oh, I believe you.
I was trying. I was sending it this morning. I was hoping to have 2 Jeans for tonight's podcast. But looks like we'll just have 2 Jeans for some future content.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Get that S3.
So very exciting to make. But what I'm more excited for, I didn't even do the friend ritual. Is the friend ritual even real?
You did though, didn't you? You did your friend summon.
Not on camera. Well, let's go ahead and switch Let's get this out of the way because we know it's important. Let's see what we got. Come on. It's actually going to be tough to get no reds since we have the friend bonus right now.
Well, luckily the mega clusters are all regulars. And those are the highest rarity, so you should be able to.
I've done it before.
I know you have. It just takes a while.
There it is. Beautiful. Okay. I see you over there with Shift Sykes on the home screen. For the boy.
Dude, we got to bring the luck somehow.
Bring the luck somehow. And I actually think we might have enough paids left over.
I'm using my lore stacks on Shift Sykes.
Okay, here's the thing. If we can land this hole-in-one right now...
Wait, hold on. I got a better thing.
I might pass out.
Hold up, bro. I got to find his lover.
Draw him. Pheromones.
Draw him in.
Yes.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Okay.
Come on in, buddy. Water's warm.
I'd say we go second 2 for 2 on the curse mark.
2 for 2 on the curse mark. 1 tap. Let's go.
It has been sent. No one on the blue.
We don't need it.
I'm gonna skip. Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
I more so meant the multi anyways. Don't worry about it.
Gotcha. Well, that's what we're moving on to now. So
The hope was there.
here we go. Now we have our 75k. At the very
Max
worst,
45k. That's it.
we end at 30, which is still a perfectly fine threshold for me. So here we go. Left hand, I'm going with our first multi. Let's go. 1 reality. Thank you so much. Here's Tyria. Cracking at the SR with a full squad tweaks.
I like that.
That's about the best start other than straight to the SSR. We've got 1 flashback. We've got 2 flashbacks. And it stays at the SR.
That's so bad.
Oh, it hurts me. Ugh. It was a close one.
I thought that was gonna go up.
I thought the energy was there, bro. Alright, we're going back. And rotating hands. Going below the 70k threshold. We have another Tyria. That's step 1. An SR with only... an R with only 2 squad members, I think is a skip, personally.
I hope you're pleasantly surprised. But I believe you.
There's 1 SSR. And it is a duplicate of the militia.
They just said 1 SR. I was like, what?
Oh.
But the worst thing possible?
No. Yeah, literally.
Alright, no, I got you.
Alright, well, now I'm at the point where I think I'm just gonna steady send it. We got Zekis. Did you know at one point in time I called Zekis Zeeks?
Well, yeah, that's probably because of the Japanese translation.
Oh, you're actually correct. Wow, what are the chances of the same off-banner arc back-to-back?
Extremely bad.
Yeah, that's...
I think you should go do a friend summon and switch it up. I think you need to switch
omen?
it up. That's pretty bad.
Okay. Yeah, that's really sad. Okay, let's reset the luck because holy mackerel.
By the way, I think it's a great option. Vember said awkward turtle.
Okay. We haven't busted out the awkward turtle yet. Usually he comes out towards the end. He or she.
No.
I'm not one to judge.
Listen, you can do both. So don't...
Absolutely.
Don't assume anything.
Never. Not in 2023, man. Let's see what we got.
Question is, are you going to use all your friend points up before you find 11?
That's a good question. I sent like 400,000 of them today.
While doing summons?
There it is. While doing... Yep, I actually spent $1,500 in gems today.
Impressive.
Anyway. For you, Vember. We are down to our 4th multi now. 12,000 gems spent. And we've got a Tyria. That's sign number 1. We've got an SR. We've only got 2 squad members. So I'm going to watch it. We're going to see if it plays out. We did get 2 SSRs on multis. Okay, and 3. The chances are better than none. 1 SSR. And it's a duplicate. Okay. Hoo-wee. We're going with the curse mark.
What?
And sending it. Violent Noctis says Zykes incoming. I don't know, we'll see. I'm fiending for I'm feeling greedy. I'm feeling greedy after that Jeanne pull. I think I'm about to get humbled. I think feeling greedy's, oh, we got another SSR. It's too many back to back. We got 2 SSRs in the mix. Duplicate. Oh. Mia. Call him. Do something. That was 2 SSRs. Zero's estimating multi number 8. What was that? Which one was that? 5?
I don't know. We'll see in a second. You can back out and see it.
Yep.
You were at 75.
5 multis down. 3 more to reach Zero's prediction. So we're sending it. Tyria, come on, girl. I'm losing faith in ya. We've got 3 squad members, so come on, baby. Touching the screen. I'm touching it gently. Maybe if I don't go so rough. We go to the yellow, to the red. Lots of reds. Come on. 0.8%. Oh, no.
Oh, shit. The biggest troll of them all. Remember, he's still at a 0.5% on this, so he's still likely.
I know.
Yeah.
You showed me the way. I understand how the math works now.
It does hurt a little bit.
It still stings. The math did not help make it sting less.
The attraction worked 100%. Just,
Yeah, the problem is we need the... well, I don't want to story spoil too hardcore.
No, we need his boy. We need to show the power. We need to bring the power.
Show them.
Show the power. Show the power.
Got 1. Loug Mechia.
Show the power.
Got 2. We got 3 flashbacks. Look at that guy. Look at him. Look at him. We need him over here. That's it. Do it. We got 1 right in the middle. It's going to be a duplicate. Okay. I need to do so. I think we've had way too many SSRs and we have not reset the friend ritual.
Okay, time to reset.
Because we're getting very close to D-Day. And I think that was Zero's prediction? No. There's
Yes.
1. It was.
Yeah, he's
I'm
on
54.
8. If you're 54, this is the 8th one coming up.
This is the 8th one coming up. I mean, look at that. Look at his artwork, man.
Yeah, he's pretty dope.
If he's not the coolest anime e-boy I've ever seen, I don't know who is. Feel free to tell me who rivals this man in design. There it is. Straight blues. We're going reverse order to find.
That's the best one you could possibly get.
Straight blues, bro. The algorithm doesn't know.
That's the best. That's the best setup.
I probably just woke Lady Booda up, but it's gonna be worth it right here. Zekis. SR. Just straight Zekis.
That was SR only, huh? Oh! That hurts.
Okay. Got a
Make
full
it happen,
squad
Boods.
tweaks.
Make it happen, Boods.
Got a full
Maybe
squad.
we were one off.
Maybe one off. Maybe a little variance. No animations. We got one down below. Oh no. Oh no.
Don't tell me it's again.
It's just...
I just saw it. No. He curses us even further. You were prepared, so don't mind this.
Listen, we were hoping for a nice discount, but we may have used up all the luck in the beginning here.
We tried, man.
Which I can't say
you didn't try.
I can't say I'm mad. We are getting a extremely generous amount of SSRs.
Yep, 10% chance on any SSR.
Oh my gosh. I think I just send it to 30. I think.
Go ahead. That's also a strat, by the way.
I think we just send it.
It's a strat I implement quite often.
Okay, you just don't stop. Just no pain. You can't
No pain.
hurt
Rip off the
me
Band-Aid.
if
Let's get
I'm
it.
numb.
You were fully prepared.
I am numb. November. Well, I don't know if I can consider this unlucky.
You can't.
I just don't think I can.
You're essentially getting Shift Sykes and Jeanne for like 45k.
Right. We've got two SSRs right here, and they're both duplicates. Holy mackerel. That's a sign to just rip this Band-Aid off. Get it
And then
over
we can
with.
get to an exciting part of where he's in your account. Let's go.
Absolutely. I'm getting some nice little, whoa, that's unexpected. And this is just Dupe City, baby. Retitle this stream to Dupe City. Because,
Militia of the Dead 3 times.
good Lord in heaven. What even is this? And the final straw. Now, if we get Shift Sykes here, that is the ultimate spit in the face. But I don't think we
It
will.
would be so bad.
Cut it off. Give me
I did forget that
my
hero.
prize. Oh, Militia's on rate up?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Lovely.
Wait, it makes total sense.
Well,
I did forget that.
you all were here to witness it. I stayed true. It's not clickbait.
I wish it was clickbait and you hadn't had to do that, but you know.
Oh, that hurts my soul.
The Jeanne pull was, oh my god, legendary. Let's go.
That's my soul. Give me the best boy. Yes. Ooh! It doesn't hit the same when it's not from a summon. But it is worth its energy. Absolutely worth.
Nice, congrats, dude.
Thank you, my friend. Always a big decision when you use those free crystals for the pity.
Mm-hmm.
Been saving them
Yep.
for a very long time. Give me my 3 crimson ore, please, and thank you. And that will do it. Goodness gracious. Wow. Well, this was a W stream, y'all.
Mia failed us, by the way. I just want to bring that up.
Well, I was gonna say,
Mia was a letdown.
Mia...
I think it was her fault.
I don't think we have the correct one in the game yet.
Yeah, you might be right.
That's what I'm saying, to get Shift Sykes.
Mm.
So, pitied him. 30k left over. Still gives us enough for the value banner. So your boy
Absolutely.
Booda can't be too mad at it, but we'll definitely need to recoup after this. However, I think this is the trophy of the night, no doubt. So it'll feel better in the morning.
Oh, for sure. Now you got 2 units to build and play around with.
Shoot.
That's gonna be fun.
Got my work cut out for me. Guys, if you support the stream, which I know you support the stream, but to keep the stream going, best thing you can do is become a Booda fam member today by hitting that join button. Michael Burnside renewed his membership. Thank you, my friend. All those green names in the chat, Booda emojis. Support means the world. And then for those of you who go above and beyond and hit those donations, which we now have Venmo in the description. Shout out to Peanut Butter and Jelly for asking for a Venmo. You ask, I will provide. So you guys are truly what make this YouTube journey so special. So thank you so much. Thank you to everyone for coming out and watching us talk about this game. Tweaks, you got anything else for us, my friend?
Oh, bro, I think we went over it all. I mean, I have a couple tickets to run off, to rip off Band-Aid for.
Send them, bro.
Why don't we do that? See if we can get a dupe or two.
I'm sweating.
Oh, man, I know.
That was a hot and steamy summit session. A lot of mommies and zaddies, but anyway. Well,
17?
Tweaks,
Rip it off.
let's see it. 17 tickets you've been hoarding, bro.
Nah.
Okay.
Rip. R.I.P.
Anyways. So, again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you to my co-host,
Yes.
as always,
Word.
for holding it down. And hope you enjoyed this episode. I guess we'll see you in 3 weeks or 2 weeks.
2. Next week is time trials, and the following week is another unit release.
Okay.
So 2 weeks.
So maybe one day we'll see content other than new unit releases, but as long as you guys keep showing up to these podcasts, we'll keep doing them. See you in 2 weeks, but I think that's all we got for you this time, guys. Looking forward to the next one. And y'all know what we say. Work hard, play harder. See you next time.